Guys, my name is Mohammed, Nabeel, Mukarram, and today I'll be reviewing Lajja by Taslima Nasrin. So let's get into quick details. So it's obviously authored by Taslima Nasrin, published by Penguin. Year of publication is 1993, and the number of pages in my edition of the book, which is a English translation of this book by Anchita Ghatak, is 320. So it is written in Bengali first, and the genre it belongs to is political fiction. So let's get on to the author Taslima Nasrin, who is a Bangladeshi Swedish author who wrote Lajja and is often known for her feminist and anti-Islam comments because she often says that Islam is a very patriarchal and very regressive religion where rights are completely curtailed. So she's had to go through many countries since being exiled from Bangladesh, and due to a fatwa like the United States, Sweden, and India. So let's get on to the summary of this book. So this book is basically about a Hindu family in Dhaka. This and their reaction to the Babri Masjid demolition. And till a certain point of this book, we see that this family is only reacting to the news of Hindu persecution by the Muslim fundamentalists of the country. So slowly by slowly, Taslima Nasreen shows how Bangladesh is being transformed into a non-secular country, even though it was dreamt of as a secular paradise. So the thing is, the Dattas, they are very highly determined to stay in the country because of the patriarch who is Sudhamoy, who is a well-known physician who loves this country and has fought for it as well. So that's the first thing that they do. And initially, Maya, his daughter, leaves for refuge in Muslim friend's house, and they keep getting news from about Hindu persecution in Bangladesh. Yet still, Sudhamar, who is the patriarch, he still wants to stay. Suranjan, who is his unemployed son, he wanders on streets to an unknown feeling of contempt from the Muslim majority society around him because he's not used to it at all. He's used to a lot of respect in this society, as he normally knows. So there is Nasreen does not hold back from criticizing political parties who do peace marches on one hand and have and do a lot of violence on the other hand. So one day, to amp up the tension of this book, Nasreen brings in a big plot point is when some young Muslim men enter their home, destroy it, and abduct Maya out of nowhere. So Suranjan changes completely. He goes mad after looking for his sister, but he can't find her, and he does some pretty horrible things like raping a Muslim woman just to get revenge. So eventually, the effect of all this on Kiranmoy, Sudhamoy, and Suranjan takes shape in Sudhamoy finally make the decision to leave Bangladesh, even though he never wanted to do that ever in his entire life, and just knows that Bangladesh is not the right place for him. So continuing, so the main characters in the story are Sudhamoy, Kiranmoy, Suranjan, Maya, the four people in the family. So Sudhamoy is a patriarch. He's fought for the liberation, and he's an absolute patriot. He would not let go of his country and would not let go of his home, and because of that, he's one of the most strongest characters in this story. So Kiranmoy is Sudhamoy's wife. So in a very traditional wife role, Kiranmoy does not do anything that Sudhamoy would do, and she supports him as much as he can, even when he's very sick in the thing. Suranjan was a prominent figure in the local political scene, but he's completely unemployed right now, and because of the changes around him, he's rethinking his identity as a Bangladeshi and becoming more communal in the process. So Maya is their daughter. She's the most rational and sane person, I believe, in this story, and she wants to live in Bangladesh, but she will do anything to live in Bangladesh, but not. She can also give up her identity, so that makes her one of the most rational people in this story. Coming on to the themes, so 6 themes I have drawn out from this uh, novel, which is suppression, home, resistance, communalism, religion, and patriotism. Now we see communalism and religion go together, whereas the religion is obviously an important factor because of their religion, the Tatars are being persecuted, and all the Hindus or people are being persecuted by the Muslim community. So this shows how the Bangladeshi society has been completely destroyed by communalism. And patriotism is very important because Sudhamoy and Suranjan completely believe in that. They won't leave their homes. They are staunch atheists, and they only believe in Bangladesh. Home is absolutely important because we see throughout the story there are countless stories of people being forced to go home, who are leaving to India, who are leaving everything behind to India because they can't stand the persecution and whatnot, and because of suppression, brought on by the Muslim fundamentalists. Obviously, his home is very important because in the end, Sudama does decide to go to India where he is much more safer, even though it is not his real home, which is Bangladesh. It's something that he never wanted to leave in the first place. A critical analysis of this poem, I mean, of this novel, sorry. So, it's a book, I mean, it combines reality and fiction very well, and it shows through many anecdotes the transition of Bangladesh from being a secular country to one having a large, large budget to promote Islam. So it's Taslima Nasrin has clearly, nicely shown it through Datta's viewpoint, and uh, and she brings up the fiction, the height of the fiction at a amazingly surprising event. So she has very craftily mixed the two worlds together and made it very controversial and extremely worthy of a fatwa and ban which was implemented against her. My own perspective in this book, like what I thought were some of I mean it's a really good book and it details the conflicts very well, but there are still some glaring flaws. So in between chapters where the narrative is going on, we see we see a lot of details regarding the persecution of Hindu, and at some point it becomes like you're reading a newspaper. So, and some of its dialogue is also extremely plain, and the same ideas are repeated again and again. But the characters and plot being a little more down to earth and more relatable completely stood out for me, and I really liked it. But I couldn't help notice these flaws. So, thank you guys. Lajja is a great book. I think you should read it because it's highly relevant at these times. At these times of political instability in the Indian subcontinent. So, thank you guys again once again.